Well, the next step is to paint all this wood, and I'm using a 15-year solid stain, which is good stuff actually. It's called Flood Solid Stain, cedar color. Get it from Walmart. It's still cheaper there. It's 15 years for siding, and using an air compressor, of course, small one. And this is pressure treated, so it's never going to rot. But the only thing with pressure treated, if you don't stain it really good, it can warp on you. So most of these are 10-footers, and I'll get the other side of them with the spray gun by using the ladder, the little step ladder. And this is the setup right here. So you just got this, and you just, there you go, and then you make sure you get the sides. And that's it. So I'll be doing, before I put these in the ground, this is all going to be thoroughly dried, and I'll be getting 3 sections of fence. I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually brace this up like, I don't know, more than 150 mile-an-hour winds with 3 sections of 8-foot fence, 6-foot high, board on board, with these cemented in every 2 feet, 4x4s. So that'll be solid as all hell, with 2 2x4s as a header tying it all across. So that's gonna be solid. Well, I got more pressure treated wood, so I'm going to town with this. It's going to be very strong what I'm making. So it's mostly 2x4s and 4x4s and 2x6s and some wood planking. A couple of those. They're all 8-footers, so just got to tie them down. So I have them in El Camino, and we're gonna find. Well, first thing I'm going to be doing here is getting a good coat of 15-year stain, solid stain from Flood. It's the name of the brand, Just Get Cedar, and that's the color of the stain. And I use the air compressor, so it just goes on like this. Nice even coat, and it's a lot faster than the brush and a lot better than the brush. It uses less paint. But I got plenty of wood. These are 2x4s, these are 2x6s, these are 4x4s, and on the other side here, I got more of them. I was doing the one side, I got to do the other side of them. 2x4s, 2x6s, 4x4s. Here's some 2x4s. So I counted out the number of wood I had. I planned out everything. So basically, what's going to happen is, from this post here, right here, I'm going to go out 8 feet to here, a section of fence. Then 8 feet in, I'm going to have a section of fence this way. This is going to be roofed in here, roofed right in this area. And there's going to go out 16 feet from here. This is going to all be roofed, which is only going to be a wall right here, 8 feet. So there's just going to be a little spot here to walk into this. So I'm also going to use it for the cat. I don't have a cat fence going along the top here, so he can't jump out. So that's what I'm doing. So this is going to be kind of cool. Alright, the El Camino's loaded up. I got 4 board-on-board pressure-treated fence, a whole bunch of big nails, grip-right nails. So it's strapped on there pretty good. And this is going to be for that carport thing, and also a place to put Putin the cat in there, and you can hide out and do all that stuff. So we'll have undercover and a place for the sun and all that shit. So, but usually I interlock these, but it should be on there okay. I'm not going that far. I'm only going 3 miles max. So it's loaded up. I usually I can get about 5 or 6 on here actually. That's the max I put on here. Okay, I got the 4 panels here. I'm starting to paint them. This is actually, I had this left over, so I'm going to use it. It's pretty close to the right color, but this will be on the inside. It's semi-transparent Flood. It's good for 5 years on fences, 3 years on floors, so it's good for 5 years. I'm really drenching it though. You can see it's like, as it dries, it'll look good. And so I did 2 of them already on the inside, and I got 2 more laying here. So I already had this paint. So, and then I'm going to put these up, start putting posts in the ground. So it's coming along pretty good. Fortunately, Florida's nice and warm, And here it is in the middle of winter time. It's January 26th or 7th or something, and it's plenty warm out. Okay, all 4 of the panels are painted, and some stuff still drying, but I really drenched it on there, because even though it says it's for 5 years, if you really drench it on there, it seems like it lasts a hell of a lot longer than that. And after it gets weathered and stuff, you can't tell you drenched it on there, because this wood is so rough. If it was really smooth wood, you could tell you painted it like with, you look at this, but it's not fully dry yet. But once it gets on there, it really hardens up. The sheen comes off of it. You really can't tell, they drenched it on there. And it will last a lot longer than 5 years, because it's so heavy of a coat. Well, I ran into a problem putting in these posts. This one's only in about 1.5 feet, but I did something extra to it, and I'm going to actually put the concrete up to about here. I'm going to shut this off. Up to about here, so it'll be like built up along the sides. This one is only going to go in about 6 inches. That's a problem, because I don't know what's under here. I don't know if it's a septic or somebody just poured some cement here, but it doesn't seem to be a septic unless it's some kind of angle joint. But I'm going to put this right over it. Now on the other post, since I only put it in, that's not going in far at all, but I'm going to do something to it a little bit different, so it's going to be pretty strong, and I'm going to try to make sure it's really tied into this concrete here pretty well. But what I did on this one, on the other post, was I took some of these 2x6s, I nailed one on each side, so it's a little thicker. You can see it's a little thicker, so it's got more to grip the concrete, and it's like a channel. Then I put a bunch of these nails in here. These are 3.5-inch nails. I had them stick out about 2 inches, so I nailed this to that. Then I put nails in here and on the side, so the concrete will grip it. But that one's in about 1.5 feet. That's not too bad. Plus I'm going to but this one's only going in about 6 inches. But this is actually going to be tied from this side all the way to the other side anyway, and then it's going to be tied over here, because this is where I'm going to put the bike. This is going to be 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet, so it's going to be tied in over here, and there'll be a post every 2 feet, like coming in from here. Probably won't have it done today, but one here, one here, one there, one there, one there. So it'll be like a post every 2 feet, and then it's tied in from the top, from one side to the other. Plus these posts will be tied in across the top, just the way these other ones are here too. So the next step is to paint this one. I'm going to paint this to coffee, which is the rest of the fence is the color's coffee, so that's all you'll see on the exterior. And this other color is not that far off, actually. It's not that far off. It's you can see these posts are cedar. It's just a little bit different color. Actually, it's in a film. It probably shows up a little bit different, more different, but they're pretty close. It's pretty close. It's just the interior anyway, so it'll be all right. Okay, so I put some boards on this, like 2x6, these are 1.25 by 6, excuse me, not 2x6, 1.25 by 6, pressure treated. Everything's pressure treated. And you can see I put some nails in here. I actually painted the nails, even though they're galvanized. So it's going to give more grip to the concrete. Now, this is only going to sit in here about this much. But then I'm going to build the concrete up about this much, real wide, like this, real wide like this. So it's not going to be too bad. But that's not going to be an end post, freestanding end post. It's actually going to be tied in 2 different ways. And one way on a right angle across the top. So this will be strong, but there's something underneath here that I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to tear up any concrete and find out. There's some kind of pipe or some shit. I'm just putting this right over it. But it'll still be plenty strong enough, because the way I'm doing this is extremely way over engineered. And I'll be putting probably another post if I can dig down 2.5 feet. Put another post just 2 feet away from this one too. So plus tied in the top Well, you'll see what I mean when it's finished, but it'll be strong as hell anyway. But I can't dig down, so this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm only going to go in 6 inches. I put nails all around here so it grips the concrete. I made it wider with 1 1/4 by 6, and I'm going to build this way up with concrete like that in a big mountain kind of, you know, so it'll be pretty strong. And the concrete will probably stick to the other concrete pretty well because I'm going to vacuum it. I'm going to vacuum it so it's clean. Well, I decided not to mess with tearing up this concrete. You can see it's pretty thick too. You can see down in there. And it's pretty smooth, so like it's not just some lump of concrete. I don't know what it's from though. And the septic tank is not in here, but the pipe goes approximately through this area, but I don't know. So I made this, and this is just going to sit right on top of here like that, and I'm going to fill it up with concrete. And then the concrete will be up to this height, fill into there, and then it'll probably loop around the corners of this. So when this hardens up, this would probably be pretty strong anyway, you know. So that's how I'm doing it. So I'll probably, you know, just fill it up pretty high. I'll fill it up right up to the top here, then, you know, down, and it'll fill into that channel. It still won't be that bad, but it's getting tied to that side anyway, and then it's going to come over here on a right angle and 8 feet out, and it'll be tied across the top. And if I could put a post between these 2 posts, I will, but it's probably not necessary, but I will, even though, because I'm this way I do things, overkill. Okay, so I'm painting this side. This is the coffee color, because that's all the outside of the fence is that color. And you see over here, and it goes all down there. Yeah, this is all coffee colored on this side, so that's what's going to be on the outside. And looks like just with 2 bags of concrete on this corner post, looks like it's pretty solid. And if I can get a post between this one and the other one, I will. But this corner post is going to be tied in, going on a right angle this way and also this way, so it's going to be tied in anyway, one way or the other. But I'm going to there's 160 pounds of concrete in there right now, and I'm going to build this up to the top of this, so it'll be strong as all hell anyway, even with nothing, even if it was a freestanding post. So that's all I'm going to be doing for now, and I have to work on the rest of it tomorrow. Just finish painting this up and put everything away. Well, this would be about the size of the enclosed area, and it's going to have from this post here around about 10 feet out from here. There's going to be a wall with a roof. Then it's going to be open all in here. This is going to be open, and it's going to be 8 feet out from this side. So in other words, this post here, this post right here, is actually going to be tied to a post about 8 feet on this side. One in here. So I'll put the bike in here. Actually, I'm going to put the bike in here. This will be roofed, but not all of it's going to be roofed. About 3/4 of it's going to be roofed, and this part's going to be opened up. So that's what it's going to be. But it'll be like every 2 feet, providing I could actually put a post in the ground. Every 2 feet there'll be a post, and this is going to get built up with more concrete. But as it is, it's pretty solid. Even though it's only in there about 6 inches, it's pretty solid because it's wide. It's like 160 pounds of concrete in there, and I got nails sticking out of there like you saw before. And this is pretty wide, so that's like 6 inches by, I don't know, it's more than 6 inches, 8 inches by 6 inches on the bottom, and it's irregular shape. So that'll hold it. There's a lot of actually mass there, and that concrete is laying on clean concrete on the bottom, and it's wrapping around underneath the side of it. So that's going to be like one big mass of concrete. So when I build it up about 1/2 foot higher than that, it's going to be in there solid as all hell, even though it's going to, you know, I didn't like that, doing it that shallow, but it's going to be strong as hell anyway. So, just got to paint the opposite sides of these. They're going to be cedar colored like this. Got cedar paint. I got to clean the paint gun. And, you know, these are all painted, ready to go. Some needs a little bit touched up on the end, but that's easy to do. And I'll be continuing on with it. Part 3 next coming up to finish, hopefully, maybe part 4.